Let's pause for silence. Oh, so we are studying the sixth topic, keep to the middle path. And last week we concluded with point number 4. So any questions? See, just to recap, middle path is to avoid extremities of life. It's quite straightforward. And if you don't do that, then your life becomes lopsided. So you lean either towards indulgence or towards abstinence at any level of your life, any facet of your life. And that happens when your mind overpowers your intellect. And that is the explanation how to stick to the middle path. So, first point he talked about our relationship to the wealth, material wealth. So, wealth is necessary for sustenance. Without wealth, you cannot sustain yourself. But the problem comes when craving takes over. So, that is where mind plays the role. If intellect is powerful, then it will understand and monitor your life's activities and needs, whatever wealth you need, which you have to acquire. And make sure you manage your wealth properly. So, intellect does that. But when mind takes over, then that greed or avarice comes. And when it is pronounced, then person may cross moral or legal barriers to earn wealth. There are enough examples we see in the news all the time. And then another important point we discussed was you must manage your expenses from the spillover. So if you want something extra, I mean, there is nothing wrong with that. You want to buy maybe a nice car, maybe you want to buy a nice phone, nice wristwatch, or maybe you want to go on a vacation once in a while. So you can't deny yourself if you have a desire, and at times it may be required. So it must be from the spillover. So don't touch your capital, don't touch your principal. So whatever you earn, extra income, interest, we can use any word. And that varies from person to person. One person may have, let's say, $20,000 spillover per year. Another person may have $500,000 of spillover. Everybody's at a different level. Make sure you manage with that spillover, from that spillover. No borrowing to fulfill your desires. And then, even if you have enough wealth, no vulgar display of wealth. That is important point. And the last point was learn to be content with what you have. Absolutely important. Every phase of your life you will enjoy if you learn that formula. And then there is no harm in more acquisition. It will automatically happen if you are functioning unselfishly. Wealth will be added to you, whether you want it or not. Then, when it comes to physical level, either people are obsessed with health or they neglect their health. So middle path is you understand the importance of health. Without good health, what can you achieve in life? So take care of your health, take care of your diet, but no extremes. You know, if you do extremes, then that is what you end up doing. Other things will suffer. Too much obsessed with health. Morning you go to gym, evening you do yoga. Again, in between breaks you go for a walk. Then rest of the time you're thinking about which diet and all that. So how can you take care of other aspects of life? So it becomes lopsided. So that is important point. And again, we talked about senses. So one set of people, they go all out. Most people, they are very indulgent. Another set of people, they deny themselves. So middle path is you have to have self-control. There is nothing wrong in contacting the senses. But the moment they start interfering with your life's goals, it could be your worldly goals, it could be your family goals, it could be your spiritual goals. Then intellect comes and monitors your contact with the senses. And then emotions we discussed. We covered that point, Raji, right? Emotions.
Yes, Amiji.
Yeah. So again, there are two extremes. One set of people, they are very emotional. They deal only at emotional level. That's the only language they understand. So they want emotions, they want to transact with you at emotional level. Another set of people, they are indifferent. They don't care. No feelings. So what is middle path? You have to have emotions, but you should not become emotional. And only when you have powerful intellect, you can do that. Otherwise, you'll be victimized by mind's emotions. So that's the middle path as far as emotions are concerned. So, any questions?
Amiji, we have outlined this many times, but I just wanted to again listen to this.
Yeah, please.
Emotions. We should have emotions, but we should not be emotional. We should have passions until one becomes passionate, and sentiments as long as one is not sentimental. Can you just explain these three things in a nutshell? What exactly, how to be what has been explained here?
See, just use the word emotions. The rest is all synonyms. Sentiments, passions. So, if you don't have emotions, then you're not a human being. You're a piece of stone, you're a wood. But animals do have emotions. So I am repeating that example because there is a purpose. And the most common example we often give is dogs. So very It's a bundle of emotions, any dog, but it is totally affected. You know, I mean, when the owner is not home, they go through a tough time. They can't handle that. You know, some of them don't eat. They are sitting in a corner and sulking. You know, so you're also fond of your dog. That's the reason you have kept him, right? But you're not affected. You go to office, you know, you may check on him maybe through camera, hey, what's happening and all that. But your meetings are not affected. If you go on a vacation, your vacation is not affected. So definitely you care. You have emotions for your dog, but you're not emotional. Dog is emotional. So when you become emotional, then then mind becomes agitated. That's the principle. And when mind becomes agitated, then you cannot function. You lose clarity, you lose productivity. So your success is affected, your efficiency is affected, ability to manage a particular situation is affected. If you have a sick patient in the house, just to give example, see, usually, if not in all the cases, family members become they're totally disturbed. If somebody is diagnosed with cancer, terminal cancer, so if spouse is not strong, then how can he or she take care of his or her partner? So that's the principle. Having no emotions is, again, I am magnifying. Your partner is terminally ill and you're going on a golf tour. I mean, what kind of a relationship is this? You get my point. Other thing is, other extreme is you're not able to manage your day-to-day activities. Forget about taking care of your partner, you know. Again, children example, you know, there are good emotions are there towards children, but most parents, they don't know how to relate to their children. They become too emotional when it comes to taking care of their educational needs or maybe their weddings. No, we can go on multiplying examples. So the principle is, when you become emotional, your mind becomes agitated. Forget the example, that's the principle. Examples we can multiply. And when mind is agitated, what happens to the intellect? Intellect is not available. When intellect is not available, action suffers, efficiency suffers, that particular task suffers. You know, you get it?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Same thing can be applied to sentimental and passionate, all the same
See,
logic.
that's the reason in the beginning I told you.
Mhm.
All these are synonyms. Now, why are you complicating unnecessarily? They are synonyms. Emotions, passions, sentiments, they are synonyms. This is the first sentence I used. Even in your question and answer session, you had asked that question. Uh, how to tackle vasanas, how to tackle desires, as if they are two different things. So you have a tendency to use synonyms differently. You need to correct yourself.
Sure.
Are you okay?
Okay. Thanks.
Sure. Or you want me to explain about sentiments now?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. Are we okay? Any more doubts? Okay, excellent. Point number 5.
The intellect itself needs to follow the middle path. Instead, it takes to two extreme directions. Either remains fallow without developing, building its strength, or merely borrows knowledge laid down by predecessors. Thus, one class of persons does not use their existing intellect to build it further, render it stronger for use in their life. As a result, their intellects remain weak and ineffectual for all purposes, and they become human mannequins. The other class of people uses the intellect only as a conduit to collect information, knowledge from external agencies like schools and universities. Those become well informed, knowledgeable in one or more subjects. They gain mere intelligence and turn themselves into human computers. No more. Not realizing that a computer with all its knowledge faces a serious handicap, like one which is fed with the expertise of safety measures cannot save itself when the building is on fire. So too, the most profound knowledge acquired from the past cannot help one handle life's challenges. Thus, the ill use of the intellect has led human beings to two extremities: dumb mannequins or intelligent computers. Hence, you need to take the middle path that leads you to success, progress, and peace. And that is to use your existing intellect to gain knowledge as well as build its strength, make it more powerful through the process of thinking. Thinking is an art, skill, technique. It has to be learned and practiced like playing the violin or flying an aircraft. Thus, a powerful intellect with adequate knowledge would spell success in what you do and find peace in your life.
So there are three main points here. First point is, most people, they are not even aware of the existence of intellect. Forget about using their intellect. Buddhi, that's the word. Buddhi means intellect, capacity to think, to reason, to analyze, to understand. That's the role of the intellect. So most people, there is no awareness. So therefore, no efforts to build intellect. And therefore, entire life is mind-led. This is what you find in almost every other person, or maybe 99% of the people. All facets of their life, it is completely mind-led. Not only they are victimized by their mind, they are not aware that they are victimized by their mind. So that's the reason Swamiji wrote that book, The Fall of the Human Intellect, isn't it? So that's the problem. And since intellect is weak, mind has overpowered your personality. So every aspect of your life you suffer. Weak intellect is the cause. Effects are millions. It could be you're not able to manage your relationships, you may not be able to relate to your children, you may go through stress, worry, anxiety when it is pronounced depression, physical ailments, self-inflicted, we are talking about inability to get along with your colleagues, members of society, finances you don't know how to manage. We can go on multiplying examples. Cause is only one. What is that cause? Weak intellect. So since there is no awareness, there is no effort to build intellect. So how can you promote intellect? How can you build intellect? Number one. So most people, they would belong to this category. Another set of people, they are information hunters. See, intellect has got two roles. One is to collect information. Second is to think and reflect on the information you have received. So they just use that one aspect of the intellect to collect information. It's like a computer, it's like a supercomputer. But they don't go to the depth of the knowledge. They just cover the length, all aspects. Even when it comes to the academic study, most students they just cover the surface. There is no depth, there is no length. Yeah, I have given this example from my personal experience. Like, I did my business management from a well-known business school there. 3 to 4 toppers. So we all got approximately 75%, which is quite high at that level, MBA level. So toppers I'm talking about, the difference was average is, let's say, 75%. So the toppers, one girl and I think 2 boys, they were at 85%. I mean, they all day long they used to study, rattle off all like complicated definitions on what is business, what is management. I mean, they would know everything like a computer. But 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, they did not do well in their career. I mean, average. When I say not well, average. And there were some of my colleagues at the age of 37, 38, they became head of their particular departments, and they got whatever 70%, 72%, and all that. So, all that knowledge, I'm talking about your own profession. You may have the best of knowledge, information, but when it comes to application, you need intellect. You get the point. Exactly same formula applies when it comes to knowledge of Vedanta, knowledge of scriptures. You may know all the scriptures pit pat. Personally, I have come across 2 or 3 people who not only know all the verses of Bhagavad Gita, there are 701 verses of Bhagavad Gita. They can chant. Two of them, they could chant backwards. I mean, the 2, 3 verses, personally, I don't think I can remember more than 5 to 6 verses. Not only they can chant, Sanjay Vacha till the end, and from there they can go backward. I mean, it's an amazing skill. It could be appreciated for that particular skill. But pathetic life when it comes to application of that knowledge. So you may know Vedanta, you've done e-learning, you've done classes, question and answer session, you are punctual. Asking questions, you are punctual. Giving answers, you are punctual. The most sincere student. But it's possible that your life is in absolute chaotic state because nothing has gone in. So that's the extreme. You get the point. So hardly one set of people, they don't bother to improve their intellect. Another set of people, they are just information hunters. So therefore, you need to pause. That's the formula we follow here. Read less, think more. That's the formula. So this is how you build your intellect. And therefore, he concludes by saying in the last paragraph, thinking is an art, a skill, a technique. It has to be learned and practiced. See, sometimes it may seem that I am too harsh. Even in this class, I gave, corrected Veera. See, it's nothing to do with Veera, it's nothing to do with Vijay. It's to do with that I can see that confusion there. So therefore, it says thinking is an art. And if I don't point it out, nobody will point it out. I mean, who can point out? I mean, he points out others' mistake. Well, he's the CEO of a company. Anybody dare not go near him. Just as an example, I am giving you. Who can correct Jigar? He corrects everybody else. Everybody consults him on sound and all that. So therefore, we keep on saying thinking is an art, it's a skill, and the 3-year course of Vedanta Academy is just for that. There is no other purpose. And we are trying to implement that here, and many of you are participating in that. We have small group discussions, then we have question and answer session. You are supposed to study and reflect in the morning. So there is a systematic way you build your intellect. So I understand that you can't join Vedanta Academy, but you don't have to worry. I mean, here there is enough opportunity for you to build your intellect. And the best way is e-learning course of Vedanta Academy. Again, most of you are doing. That's the ultimate. Anything else is a compromise. So it takes 3 to 4 years to develop that art of thinking, So therefore, he says thinking is an art, a skill, a technique. Most people, they do not understand it. That's the problem. See, in this forum, whether it is Bhagavad Gita class or whatever class we are doing, you must have seen me pointing out, or making a statement. Are we talking the same language? Sometimes people, they ask questions, they use whatever words. I'm not against it. But what do we mean by that? See, if I say elephant, I describe what is an elephant. I have to describe what is an elephant, right? It has a trunk, it has tusk, it is huge, whatever. But if by elephant you understand camel, what discussion are we having? I'm giving you a funny example, but you apply this formula in your day-to-day life. Many times you will find people are engaged in deep discussion, both don't know what are they talking on. You say something else, that person, he interprets in his own way. Nobody bothers to make his point clear. Hey, this is what I mean. So are we talking the same language? So therefore, in Vedanta classes, we don't use too many terms. And whatever terms we use, we explain. This is what we mean by that. So that's one of the techniques of clearer thinking. So you can apply this in your day-to-day life. You can apply it in your workplace. Rarely people talk on the same subject. It is an art. See, even in informal gathering, even before you have said something, other person cuts you off. So the least you can do is develop that ability, that skill to listen to others. Since early childhood, we were taught, I'm sure, and somebody, when we cut off somebody, parents used to correct us, isn't it? Hey, allow him to complete, So all this is part of clearer thinking, and is nothing but what? Clearer thinking is nothing but what? It's a faculty of what? It's a product of what?
Intellect.
It's intellect. End of the day, it is product of your intellect. So this course, this forum is designed to build our intellect. Are we okay? Then he talks about religion. Very important. What is middle path in a religion? Raji?
6. In the religious sphere as well, people have taken two extremes. One class of persons rejects religion as baseless, useless in life. The other class blindly follows the non-essentials of religion. Such people believe in and practice mere religious rites and rituals. The true spiritual path is neither of these two. It is a clear understanding of its philosophy and ingraining it in life. The quintessence of any religion is its philosophy. The rituals prescribed therein are meant for illiterate masses who are unable to grasp and follow its inherent philosophy. Mere adherence to rituals without understanding and practicing its meaning and purpose tantamounts to consuming the husk and discarding the grain. The middle path in religion envisages understanding its philosophic message and grafting it in one's practical life. Lord Buddha has pronounced to humanity over 2,500 years ago the importance of intellect to reason and accept the righteous path of life. Do not believe what you have heard. Do not believe in tradition because it is handed down by many generations. Do not believe in anything that has been spoken of many times. Do not believe because the written statements come from some old sage. Do not believe in conjecture. Do not believe in authority or teachers or elders. But after careful observation and analysis, when it agrees with reason and it will benefit one and all, then accept it and live by it.
Try to by heart this Lord Buddha's quotation. Now, again, what is middle path when it comes to religion? I'm asking the group because so much explanation has been given. What is that middle path?
Take in the information and then make your own conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
No extremes.
Yeah, what are these extremes? What are the two extremes which people follow?
Like, for example, you just gave the emotions, right? Like, don't be too emotional and don't be emotional less. So, be in the middle.
Correct, but we are talking about religion here. When it comes to religion, what are the
Oh,
two
sorry.
extremes?
They either disregard religion altogether or follow it blindly.
Yep, excellent.
Yeah. To say something bad for someone else's religion, not like how he said, dishonor, and also become fanatic about your own religion. That is also not good.
Yep, perfect. So one set of people, they reject religion. There's a tendency among a lot of youngsters, if not all, to reject religion due to ignorance, because they do not know what is religion all about, and you can't blame them. So you see what is happening in the name of religion, misunderstanding of religion, not true religion. So one set of people, they reject religion completely. Another set of people, they embrace religion without knowing what it is. So they are fanatics. So they are caught up in blind rituals, some superstitious belief, or some baseless stories which have no rhyme or reason. So what is telling us, what we need to understand is you cannot survive without religion. Religion is nothing but instruction manual for life. We often say that Vedanta is an instructions manual for life. Bhagavad Gita is instructions manual for life. How to manage your day-to-day life, how to manage your relationships, how to manage your family, how to manage your own inner personality, how to find success, every aspect of the world. So religion is instructions manual for life. So it takes care of your terrestrial world, terrestrial activities. But the most important part of any religion is to unite us with divinity, from which we are separated. And all our problems are because we have lost our identity. So religion gives the science of uniting with truth, uniting with divinity. You can use any word. So they give that scientific method, path of action, path of devotion, path of knowledge. So which prepares you for meditation eventually. It purifies your desires, and eventually it eliminates your desires. And when you eliminate your desires, you merge with the truth. So that is the most important role or a message of any religion. So they educate us about our true mission in life. Whether you read Bible, whether you read Quran, whether you read Bhagavad Gita, doesn't matter what religious textbook you follow. So they tell us this is your mission in life. And since most people do not think at all, especially when it comes to religion, there's total bankruptcy of thinking. Even so-called intellectuals or thinking people, when it comes to religion, they don't think. That's the paradox, you know. Therefore, Lord Buddha is saying, like, do not accept anything just because it is coming from a great person. He is not saying challenge. It could be misconstrued. Does it admit logic and reason? See, in Vedanta Academy, we cannot quote Swamiji. When we have group discussions, there's a tendency among the students, especially when I joined, I'm talking about like 27, 28, 20 years back. You try to say something, somebody will shut you up. No, this is what Swamiji is saying. I mean, what else you say? You have to keep quiet. Okay, sorry. Then Swamiji came to know and he, I mean, blasted. There was few seniors. He said they will not attend group discussions. So from now onwards, anybody quotes Swamiji, he will not attend group discussion. 27, 28 years back, Swamiji made that rule, you know. So it is whether it admits logic or reason. That is what all about, and that's what builds the intellect. So we find total chaos in the world because people do not approach religion in a spirit of inquiry. They blindly swallow it. Sometimes you're not even allowed to think, dare not think. How dare you question Krishna? How dare you question Upanishad, you know? So therefore we find divisions, demarcations, bitterness, hatred, wars. Religious fanatics are destroying the world. Even as we talk, what is happening? I'm not getting into the details. It's a religious war. I mean, any person who has got ounce of thinking, he will understand it's a religious war. And it's not that it's happening today. No need to get disappointed and dejected. Within our lifetime, we are saying it. That is all. So this has been happening for thousands of years. See, at some stage, fight has to end, isn't it? Otherwise, it's madness. Imagine husband and wife going on fighting. I mean, fine, once in a while fighting is okay. And every day you're fighting. I mean, what kind of a relationship is that, you know? At least one person should have ounce of intellect, you know. Okay, I've been married for last 20 years, 30 years, and every day we fight. For what? We don't know. I'm magnifying. This is what is happening. People are fighting in the name of religion. They have no clue of what religion is. That's the tragedy. And each one believes, you know, he is right, and not even an ounce of thinking. So religious fundamentalists are literally destroying the world. And if you go to the scriptures, you know, if you study the scriptures, I'm talking especially about Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, they are in the form of question and answer. All of you attend Bhagavad Gita. Throughout Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking question. Arjuna is nothing but a seeker like you and me. He's asking questions. enlightened master is giving answers. If you go to Upanishad, again the student is asking questions, teacher is answering his or her questions. So that's the middle path. You cannot reject religion. Also, you cannot accept it blindly. Once you understand what religion means, then you will know how to benefit from this sublime knowledge. So, are we okay? Any doubts? Any questions? Veera, any questions? Think, then ask. Ask. If something is there, but I'm pulling your leg. Something is, don't ask just because I am telling you to ask. That's what we learned today. Buddha, that is Buddha's quotation.
Buddha's quotation only. In that it says, "Do not believe conjecture." What do you mean by conjecture, Amiji?
Superstition.
Superstition. Okay.
Black cat crosses my path, therefore I did not get a job. It's a conjecture. Stars are not in my favor, therefore I fought with my boss. It's a conjecture. It's superstition. It's not based on cause and effect. Rituals, this is what people they do. If I do a particular ritual, I get the benefit. There is no cause and effect. Then why study? Why waste time? Why work? Whole day do rituals only. You will get money, you will get peace, you will get harmony, you will get everything. So there is no cause and effect relationship. It's all conjecture, superstition.
Got it. I went through that. Sure.
Group is okay? Now the last chapter, chapter 7, the ultimate goal. See, here is changing gears completely now. Now, so far he talked about our worldly attachments. So if you understood the message in the first 6 chapters, your worldly activities will be smooth. You'll be peaceful, you'll be successful, you'll be able to manage all aspects of your life. Attachment is a problem. So you'll be able to deal with your attachments and whatever problem they cause. But the ultimate purpose of life is to find our identity. So therefore, the concluding topic was that. That's the purpose of religion. So that's what is explained systematically. And since most of you are attending Bhagavad Gita, I mean, it's no big deal, this topic. But there are 6 topics here in this chapter. Thoughts define the person, that is topic number 1. Birth of body, mind, and intellect, topic 2. Your real being, topic 3. Waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, and you, topic 4. Topic 5 rather, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah. Eliminate your desires, regain self, topic 5. And the 3 yogas, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. So that's the last topic. So we'll start with topic 1, thoughts define the person.
Chapter 7, the ultimate goal. Thoughts define the person. A human being is constituted of spirit and matter. Spirit is the supreme self known as Atman in Sanskrit and God in English. And matter is composed of the body, mind, and intellect. The combination of the self and the body, mind, and intellect creates the human. Every human being has the ability to identify with any one of the component parts of his personality. When he thinks all the time of the body, he becomes a physical personality. And when he identifies more with emotions, he would become an emotional personality. Likewise, with the intellect and intellectual personality, people through their lifetime relate to the material equipments and assume limited personalities. Rare indeed is one who identifies with the self, contemplates upon the self within. And among the rare few who pursue the self, scarce one reaches the state of self-realization, attains spiritual enlightenment, the ultimate goal of human existence. Thus, humans as a whole identify with material layers of their personality and meander aimlessly in their lives. They merely pursue the demands of the body, mind, and intellect, and are lost in the outward glamour of the mundane world. They ceaselessly try to find pleasure, peace, and happiness from perceptions and actions of the body, emotions and feelings of the mind, thoughts and ideas of the intellect. Few realize that none of these efforts can provide them with the inner satisfaction and contentment that they seek. They fail to understand that the seat of true happiness lies in one's inner self. The eminent philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer has pronounced this truth succinctly. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. Nevertheless, the entire humanity rushes outward to find peace and happiness. And their efforts are directed to finding it through acquisition and indulgence in the world, a blunder that has affected the lives of human beings bitterly.
See, all of you know that human being is a combination of spirit and matter. Spirit is the Godhead in you, the truth in you, the reality in you. You can use any word. So all of us are that combination of spirit and matter. Matter is body, mind, intellect. They are just the veshes which cover the divinity. Now, every human being has the capacity to identify either with the spirit or with body, mind, intellect. That is how we are special from other creatures. This is how we are different from other creatures. Other creatures, they can't identify with the spirit. Spirit is there, divinity is there, even in a bird, small bird which is there, even ant, but they cannot identify with the spirit in them. But you and I can do that. So every human being has this unique gift, unique capacity, that either you can identify with the divinity and function, or you can identify with body, mind, intellect, get lost in it, get affected by it, and function. Most people, they have no clue of what spirit is, though it is a core of our personality. So when you identify with the body, you are affected by the body. It doesn't need any explanation. See, some people, they are so paranoid about body, slight wrinkle on a face, hair is affected, as you start aging, they can't handle that. Total identification with body. Too much attention they are paying to body. Yes, you have to pay attention, but I am talking about obsession. So your focus remains on the body. If you are body conscious, you are affected by what happens to the body. So that's the price you pay. When you identify with your body too much, if you identify with your emotions, then you become an emotional person. That's the starting point. Then you start transacting at the level of emotions only. So you demand emotions from people, you want emotions from people all the time. People have to cater to your emotions all the time. And you also deal with them, transact with them only at the emotional level. And then you go through highs and lows, where when you are joyful, you start jumping with joy. When you're not so joyful, you sink with sorrow. So it's like a seesaw. So you're affected, your life is affected. If you identify with intellect, then you become an intellectual person, information hunter. That is all. So therefore, you become a materialistic person. See, we often use this term, oh, he is a materialistic person, meaning what? Identification is totally with body, mind, intellect, with the material layers of the personality. So you become a very materialistic person. And when you identify with body, mind, intellect, you will be affected. It's the law of life. World affects body, mind, intellect. World is matter, body, mind, intellect is matter, matter affects matter. But world cannot affect the God principle, the truth, the divinity in us. It's not matter, it's beyond matter. So that's the price you pay. When you identify, when you associate with body, mind, intellect, you become obsessed with it. You will be affected by the world, what happens at body, mind, intellect level. But when you identify with the self, when you identify with the divinity, you become objective, less affected by the world. You can experience it. Again, it's not a theory. To the extent you have identified with the self, either consciously or unconsciously, to that extent you will not be affected by the world. If your identification is 20%, 30%, to that extent world and its challenges will not bother you. The pairs of opposites will not affect you, relatively speaking. So your daily study and reflection will help you to change your focus. It's not going to happen suddenly. It's not going to happen overnight. To begin with, somebody has to tell us that, hey, you have this capacity. At least I did not know that. 28 years back when I heard Swamiji, oh my God, there's something called as spirit in me. So we have to be educated, we have to be taught, you have to understand that yes, I have this capacity. I can focus either on body, mind, intellect, or on the self in me, which is the core of my personality. And how does your focus shift? By your daily association with this subject, by your daily study and reflection. Gradually but surely your thoughts will shift. It's something which you can experience. And another way you can understand this is that you start negating body, mind, intellect. Same side of the coin. As you get established in this knowledge and the higher values, to that extent, you're not that bothered about body, mind, intellect. So we use the word negation. Assertion is I'm the self, I'm the truth, which is required. But beyond a point, we cannot do that because we do not know what it is. But as you associate with this knowledge, you will find that you're negating body, mind, intellect. Not too fussy about your body. Something happens, fever and all that. Okay, you can deal with it. You're aging, whatever. No, you're not looking that cute anymore. You can deal with it. Emotions. People don't cater to your emotions. You're okay. You don't become emotional even when something sad happens. That was Viraj's question. If you lose somebody near and dear to you, you lose your partner. I mean, how do you handle that situation? See, ignorant people, they are crying and wailing and screaming and whatnot. See, this tragedy happened in India, that plane crashed. It's a sad thing. I think 300 lives were lost. But you find some people, they're like screaming and crying and like crazy. I mean, they're opening the photograph and going through all the albums. Oh my God! I mean, I'm not saying what they're doing is wrong, but a person who is established in this knowledge will not do that. You get my point? One person, they're calling that girl is gone. They're going on calling her on cell phone. I mean, to that extent, people are affected. You get my point? And this is how Bhagavad Gita starts. All of you are students of Bhagavad Gita. This is how it starts. Why is they are not affected by, he said like Gata Suna. One set of people, they are gone. Another set of people, they are going. So the wise do not grieve. And yet you speak words of wisdom. I think he's talking nonsense. Words of wisdom meaning, suited, booted, and polished way of talking, CEO of a company or leader of a society or whatever. Look at your condition. You're not able to deal with the loss of whatever. So automatically you will find that you're not that affected. You get my point? So that is negation. That's the effect of getting established in knowledge. And then he says you understand that there is no happiness at body, mind, intellect level. So therefore is quoting of author Schopenhauer. We all know that. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. So we all are trying, or ignorant people, they are trying to find happiness at a level of body, mind, intellect. See, that is another way of explaining. When you identify with body, mind, intellect totally, completely, desperately you are trying to find happiness at physical level, it could be at emotional level, it could be at intellectual level, where it is not there. So that's the problem. So it's a wild goose chase. So you're chasing a thing where, I mean, it does not exist. That object does not exist. Where rainbow hits the earth, there is some treasure buried. I mean, there is nothing. Rainbow does not exist. It's an optical illusion. So this is what is happening to all ignorant people, and we all ignorant. It's a question of more or less. And all your efforts, this is how he concludes, and their efforts are directed to finding it through acquisition and indulgence in the world. I mean, whole world is doing that. You try to find happiness at body, mind, intellect level by acquisition and indulgence. Nobody has found the happiness, the true seat of happiness is within you. So, he admits, author Schopenhauer, the famous German philosopher, he says it is difficult to find happiness within oneself. He's not saying it's no big deal. He's saying it is difficult, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. And we all are trying to find it where? Happiness.
In the external world, somewhere else.
In the external world, somewhere else. Could be wherever.
Yeah,
One
it's
person.
in people. Sorry to interrupt. In
No,
people,
go.
in things, in people, in things, in places. Like, oh, I go for a vacation, I'll be happy. This person will make me happy. This toy will make me happy. This car, this house, all that. Yeah. Thank you.
All the objects and beings to begin with in a relationship. Now, who has found happiness in a relationship? Now, whom are you hoodwinking? in the heart of your hearts, you know what is happening to you. I don't have to say anything. Nobody has to say anything. Nothing wrong with your partner. Otherwise, say, thank you for telling me. How can I find happiness in her? Nobody can find happiness in her. There's nothing like that. There's nothing wrong with her, nothing wrong with you. There is no happiness in the objects or beings of the world. Understand the principle. Otherwise, you will use this philosophy to justify. It's like devil quoting the scriptures. There is nothing like that. She is nothing but divinity. You are also nothing but divinity. So there is no happiness in a relationship. That doesn't mean don't have relationship. That doesn't mean the least you can do is to live in harmony with each other. But we are talking about that true fulfillment. Another person may try to find happiness in money. Another person may try to find happiness by destroying other person. Why? Because he doesn't subscribe to my views. That's the religious war. Intellectual level. You feel you can find happiness. You may destroy the whole world, still you will be miserable. Oh, maybe on Mars there are people who don't believe in Vedanta. Let me go and get them. So let's conclude for today. Any questions? Anything not clear? Crystal clear? Okay, good. Job is becoming easy. So see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amit ji.
Thank you, Amit ji.
Thank you, Amit ji.
Thanks, Amit ji.
Thank you, Amit ji.
Good day to all of you.